Hello and welcome to my first island tour. Today we will be touring the island of Serenity, which is my first island. However, most of you guys may know this dream address no longer is connected to this island. Unfortunately, I did not restart my island, but I did take everything down and I created a Nightmare Before Christmas island. So if you were now to search the dream address that was listed in my map, it will take you to a new island. But welcome, this is kind of like a spring Cottagecore island. As you guys can see, my color of choice for this island is lots of pops of yellows and greens. So in the entrance, you guys see a lot of terraforming, waterscaping, and then a little bridge. Once you cross that bridge, you make your way over to resident services. And really quickly, before I move on to the right side of the island, I want to show you guys the terraforming I did behind resident services, just because it's chef's kiss. So like I said, lots of terraforming, lots of waterscaping, and lots of pops of greens and yellows that you'll be seeing on this island. There's tiny little nooks every now and there with little decorations. So first up, you guys can see my little bakery. Most of this island was actually made before the 2.0 updates, but once that came about, as you guys can see, I started using a tiny bit of those items, such as the truck. But once you continue on, if you go kind of towards the front beach, you guys will be able to find this cute little laundry area. Again, this island is from 2021. It's my first island, so it's kind of basic in the sense of the decorating. It's a lot of Pinterest, a lot of Instagram inspo, but it's still very cute. Here you guys can see another little pond. This is actually connected to the entrance, but I created like a little dock area. And then right next to it, we have our first villager home, which I believe is Bo's house. And I gave him a little bit of a volleyball front yard since he is by the front beach. Don't mind all these flowers. Yeah, I don't know, just ignore them. But as you guys can see, again, lots of yellows, lots of foresty nature vibes. You guys can see the grandma core kind of in this, cottagecore vibes as well. And then here we have yet another waterscaping and another small little area. There's a lot of seating areas on this island. Once all of the little bakery food items came out with the 2.0 update, I kind of just put them everywhere. So basically this island is just a lot of terraforming with a lot of picnic kind of areas. But you know, I love me a good rug. So now you guys can see this little roundabout where I have Nook's Cranny kind of hidden in that little nook, but it just fits there very perfectly. I also kind of added a few little decoration pieces here and there. You guys can see the bike, the little record player, a little seat for you to sit. Everything is very natural, very calming. Now we have yet another bridge with some more waterscaping. This one here is like a double waterfall. You'll see the other part of it once we go back up to the second level. But here we have our another villager home. This is where Maple lives, so of course I had to give her a mini little maple farm. Low-key, these coats here are so freaking cute, and I kind of want to make a small little maple farm in my new island, just because, you know, Maple's my girl. I gotta give her a little section now that I have my new island and she's there. This is my peninsula. As you guys can see, more flower storage on the right side of my beach, but I did add a small little area for you to sit down and kind of look out at the ocean. And then I terraformed just one level and I put a little lighthouse. Very simple. It didn't have that much space for me to do much, so I kind of just did what I could in terms of terraforming. But now if we make our way back on over to, well, past resident services, you can go up the incline and enjoy the rest of the island. The first layer of the island is basically all on the right side, and this is the only way that you can continue up to see the rest of the island. I did have a little bike rental. I thought the code was so freaking cute, so I had to incorporate it into my island. But as you guys can see, we are now on the second level of the island. I discovered the little wedding candles and I went crazy with them, but let's continue on down. So again, another diagonal bridge. What a surprise. I learned how to do these and then I just kind of wanted to continue showing off, but here you can see the little nature aspect coming more throughout. I actually did have Happy Home when I did this island, but for some reason I didn't decorate the exterior of my homes, but still very cute. Here is a tiny little nook that I wasn't too sure what to do, so I just added these rocks. I know they have a different name, but I just kind of wanted to keep it natural, so I said maybe not so many rugs. I added this item here. And here you can see our girl Melba. Hey girl, what are you doing so far from your house? We'll see her again later, but this is kind of like the main attraction from my island. I created a very huge lake, which I did take inspiration from another creator. I can't remember their name now, but if I can find them, I'll link them below. This terraforming was a nightmare to do, but it's stunning. Next up, we have a tiny little nook that I kind of just ran past, but it's like a little painting section. This is Goldie's house, which actually in the beginning, I never really thought I would have her in my island, but I do believe that she moved in because I forgot to villager hunt. But, you know, her house looks pretty cute and she's stunning, so I don't mind it. Over here, you have another little hidden sunken tiny little nook, but then once you go right up, as you can see, this is me. Hi Liz saying hi to Liz, so funny. As you can see, once you go up, this is where you can see my house. It's over there in the back. I'll show you guys in a bit, but I first kind of wanted to show you the right side, which again just kind of like cottagecore vibes with like little laundry areas, picnic areas, and then my house is very beige. The interior, actually, I will say this front room I think is stunning. I actually had forgotten that I had used this wallpaper, and low-key now I really want to use it for my new island, but again, I did discover some of the 2.0, like the ranch style items, so had to use them here. I kept it very minimal in this room, like beigey nude colors, and then for this room, kind of it matches that second vibe. I believe this was the first room that I did in this house. I found the rattan items and I was obsessed. Ignore the fact that my coffee and the book is on the floor. I had a desk and then I took it out, I put it back in, but I forgot to update my dream address. The next room here is also a bedroom. I really like the antique furniture, so I decided to use those. And I also, as you guys can see, I unlocked the polishing feature on Happy Home, so I went a little bit crazy and I forgot to take it off. So yeah, let's just ignore that. Moving on to my last room on this main floor, I have my little bathroom, which I did decorate it in honor of my husband, since this is the room in real life that he spends the most time in. JK, also maybe not JK. I added a lot of plants because he loves plants, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's kind of a basic bathroom, but kind of cute in a way. I don't know. I really do like the plants, but the rest of it, I kind of could have added a little bit more. I realize now that there's nowhere to wash your hands, so yeah, let's just ignore that. Moving to my basement, it's not the cutest, but I will say I found out how to put custom coats, so I made my own faux rugs, and I kind of just set it up as like a studio-like vibes. I wasn't sure how to fill up this room, so I just kind of put whatever cute furniture I had in my inventory. And then upstairs, I kept seeing a bunch of diner builds on social media, and I really wanted to make a diner, but I felt like this didn't go with the exterior, like with the actual part of my island. So I thought, why not just make it in my house? That way, like, I get it out of my system. It looks cute. It's not the same theme, but you know, people can't see it unless they go to my house. So it's fine if it doesn't match. But yeah, that's my home. I actually quite like it. I would make a few changes if I still had this island, but overall, I think it's a pretty cute home, honestly, not gonna lie. Over here, you kind of have to hop on over to get to the rest of the island. One of my favorite things to do is placing this little whatever this item is called and then going on handheld so it looks like you're looking through it. Love doing that. And then as we move right along, going back onto the second level, a lot more waterscaping, tons of waterfalls. There's actually technically five waterfalls just in this little section. One of them's a double, so I don't know if it counts. But here, and technically on the rest of this island is where I have a majority of my homes, the rest of the villager homes. So this is Molly's home. Again, I discovered the wedding items and they're just too cute to not use. So I just kind of set up a little like workspace area for Molly. I guess maybe we can call her like the wedding planner from the island. I don't know. I didn't really think of giving my villagers like jobs. I just kind of, whatever items were cute, I just kind of went for it. But this is a knitting section, which I was inspired to build this because of my older sister and my grandma, who love to crochet / knit / you know, cutesy artsy stuff. So I wanted to add that. I really like the code, so I decided to add that. And this is Eric's home. Nothing special, as I mentioned, just a lot of little picnic sections in my island. I do have a cute little mush lamp here. And then I told you we would see Melba again, so here she is. This girl's out and about. But here's another little roundabout. Fun fact, this roundabout actually, like, it leads you into 4 different ways. So like we just went to Eric's, we're going to go over to the museum, and then you'll see us also coming right back over and going to, I believe, Poppy's house next. But this is kind of like the in-between area. So I just did 2 waterfalls. You'll see Eric's house is on one side, the museum is on the left. You can actually hop over and go onto that little back decorated section, but for some reason I just decided to skip that and move right along. So as I mentioned before, on the left side, which we're now approaching, is my museum, which I'm really annoyed that I didn't notice that these bushes grew in purple. So pretend that they don't look like that. Anyways, I again kept it very simple. Some waterscaping, some terraforming, lots of trees, some yellow flowers, and I did use some of the statues. And then over here we have actually not our last, I was about to say our last villager home, but there's still, I believe, 2 more that we haven't looked at. Anyways, next up, I really liked the astrology items, so I wanted to create some type of area where I imagine Celeste would stay when she comes to visit. Down below, we do have Melba's house. I mentioned we have a few more homes, so this is one of them. It's similar to Molly's, where it's like a sunken home, but this one's a lot smaller. There wasn't much room for me to decorate, so I kept it pretty simple. But this is kind of another look at it. You can see that there's a lot of terraforming around the entire of it. Moving forward, you'll be able to see me go underneath, so you can kind of see the sunken area. But yeah, I just kind of added lots of trees, lots of nature. Also, as I mentioned earlier, when you go back into that roundabout, this is the last final little path where it will take you to. I mentioned earlier that the roundabout actually had 4 different routes, and this is the last one. You come across this first villager home, which I honestly don't even remember who lives here. I think it's Ellie, but since she had a red door, I decided to add a little bit of red accents. I know they don't really match with the yellow and the greens, but I thought it was cute. And here, as I had said earlier, here is the sunken home of cutesy little Melba. Again, another 2.0 item. I discovered the bistro table and I had to use it at least once. But I do believe this is the last of the homes. Moving right along, I just have a few little terraformed areas, some waterscaping, more picnics. Are we surprised? Not really. And you can also kind of get a little sneak peek of Able Sisters, which also is on the first level of the island, but you actually can't access it through any other section other than this left side. Oh, actually, I lied. This is the last villager home. I honestly don't even know who lives here. Their home. I kind of wish I would have gone in to check. I'm very curious now, but I guess the world will never know. And down here is where Able Sisters is. Again, it's kind of tucked into the back. I used a lot of natural items, and as you guys can see, I displayed some little coordinating outfits, a lot of cutesy cottagey outfits. And then I have a tiny little sewing area. Over here we have a hidden little like picnic type area. Since my campsite is right here, I decided to go with like that camping outdoor nature vibe. So I also put out an outdoor movie theater here. This was, I think, before the screens or like the TVs were a thing, or at least I didn't know they were a thing. So I did create that with simple panels, and then I slightly decorated my what's it called, my, I don't know what this is called. You guys know what it is. But I still left it accessible so we can go on the boat rides with Cap'n. Fun fact, I think I first decorated it before Cap'n was a thing. And then with the update, he came along, so I had to move some of the stuff. But this is actually the final, well, second final little build. These are all of the what are they, 5-star lily of the valley flowers that I was able to collect. But this is the final little build. I will say I found an inspo image and I loved it, so it's all of that. But yeah, that concludes my island. Thank you guys so much for coming along. I'll see you next time. Bye.